Hello everyone, um, we are back. Yeah, so basically I just thought I would do it's time for me to do a little video to continue from my last video. Thank you so much for the lovely words that some of you have said on there, and yeah, it wasn't an easy one. It wasn't an easy ride with the birth, to be honest. It was everything that I didn't expect to happen. But it's, finished, and thank God I can say that you know, I'm happy, and we are well and we're healthy and everything. Baby Elias is taking a nap. I finally decided to start my Moby wrap. Today is the very first time, and I did it all by myself, by the way. Obviously, I'm a single mom, so there's nobody else, to help me. I do have my mom and stuff, but I like to do things on my own. Anyways, so to kind of continue with where I started, basically, from the birth. So the birth in its own self, it was long, the labor, it was painful, it was challenging, and then the actual forceps delivery, when they pulled him out, I was like praying all the time, please God, don't let them rip his head off, or a hand or something, or an ear or something. And that was just like, oh my God, that was so scary. One of the things that was like quite actually not challenged me but motivated me to try to push a little bit harder during the epidural, which was quite difficult, because I couldn't really feel the actual push in its own self. It was when they pulled the head out, and they said, oh look, the head is out, and they said, do you want to touch it? And I was like, touch the head, and I could feel the hair, and it was just like, that's it, I need to get this child out well, and I want to see him, so I just kept going and going, and it just pushed me to extreme, although I didn't do the best job obviously under epidural, but I did my best. And then after that, basically what happened after baby Elias was born, they put him on my chest, and we spent like 1 hour or something like that. He spent on my chest. It was just so lovely, and he wasn't crying like crazy, anything like that. It was just so cute. And then after that, I really needed to pee, and they removed like all the stuff, the catheter, and all the, not completely all the drips. They did actually remove the drips, but not the actual, I don't know how you call them. But yeah, you can see the holes in my hands right here and right here. So yeah, after I delivered, they started kind of like, they wrapped baby Elias up, and they put him in a crib thingy, and they were doing some documents and writing and paperwork and stuff, and then they removed the stuff from me, and I was like super tired, and then drugs started wearing off. Oh, excuse me, I'm so tired. And they started removing the stuff, and oh God, I'm losing it, I'm sorry. But I'm tired, and my brain doesn't work, because I knew what I had to say, but now I'm like a bit stuck. Anyways, so once they removed the stuff from my hands and everything, I needed to pee. And so the midwives were so lovely. Like, honestly, I didn't even think a second of being like feeling embarrassed or anything like that. They were just so genuine, and everything was just so smooth, like, and so natural. And they just made me feel like, you know what, just be who you are, be yourself, be, I was very silent during the whole birth and everything. And even when I was in pain, one of the midwives, she was so lovely. She kept saying to me, she was Spanish, and she was like, Marta, you're doing this. And I was in pain with every contraction. She was telling me, you're doing this. And to be honest, at that point, I felt like saying to her, I'm sorry, I know I'm doing this because I'm not backing up right now. There's no way I can back up. But please, can you be quiet and stop saying the same thing? But I didn't say it. It was just in my head. And I was just like, but you know, I wasn't rude, I wasn't swearing, I don't moan, I was just like, sometimes I was like, like that. That was the most, you know, the loudest sound I could do, I would do. And after that, yeah, they brought the you know, the potty, and I did a wee in the room and everything, and I didn't even feel embarrassed at all this time, because you know, it was just natural, and they made me feel so comfortable. um, they topped up my water and everything at all this time, and you know, I didn't feel lonely at all alone at all, because they were all around me, and they were just so lovely, you know. And I felt like actually stronger because I could do this on my own. And you know, because my friend, she couldn't come back because she started throwing up and stuff, so she got sick. um, Anyways, once that kind of, I went and took a shower, like almost 1 hour and a half after, I think, or something like that. They were getting ready to move us in the postnatal room. And so while we were waiting and stuff, I went and I took a shower, you know, all this bleeding and everything. It was just pretty creepy, to be honest. Like, it would just flow and flow and flow. But I was kind of numb, and you know, I was still wearing off. I could see this kind of painish, I don't know, something like a raw wound and stuff, but it wasn't something I wouldn't be able to handle. And I didn't think much about it because I was looking at my baby, and he was like so bruised up on his face, and he had this kind of a scratch, a red scratch around his face like this, and bruised up his ears, and his, you know, it was just like, oh god, I wasn't even thinking about how I felt. Nevertheless, everything kind of happened. I took a shower and everything, and then in the meantime, right when I came out of the shower, the lady, one of the midwives from the postnatal ward, came downstairs, and she said, okay, we're ready to move you. She brought this wheelchair. I got the baby in my arms, I got my luggage on there, and then they took me upstairs in this kind of a big room, kind of, and we had like rooms separated by curtains only, so there were like 4 women with 4 kids. But at the time when I arrived, there were 2 women with 2 kids. And so yeah, and it was fine, it wasn't too noisy and stuff, and obviously I need to get used to the fact that there'll be babies crying and everything. So they settled us in our room. They showed me, you know, how things are around there. They brought me cold water and everything. And, you know, through all this time, I basically, once we got there, I started, because I had to feed the baby somehow. So I started expressing. They gave me syringes, and they gave me like pots and stuff so I can express the colostrum, which I did. So I started expressing colostrum all the time, literally. Hand expressing, that was challenging, man. I've never, you know, like, never did that before, so it was like something so new, but I kind of just went with it, and all I knew is like, I need to feed my baby, I need to feed him. So I kept doing it and doing it and doing it, and you know, it was all so new for me because I just didn't know how much colostrum they should be eating. He's a newborn. In my opinion, it was too little, like, yeah. So I kept asking questions, and I said, you know, how much should he eat in one feed, or what's okay, what is not. But a lot of the times I would like express quite a lot of colostrum, so luckily I did have plenty, like enough colostrum to last me while I was in the hospital. He wouldn't like latch, so I had to express because he wouldn't latch, that's why. So I tried, but I've got inverted nipples, which, you know, I was hoping that it's not going to be that bad and that challenging, because they said that you don't actually need nipples for breastfeeding, because it's called breastfeeding. Sorry for the noise in the background, but the neighbors are doing work on their house, and I needed to get out with the baby in the sun because he's got a little jaundice, but it's now going away. So yeah, so you know, I thought, oh, that's gonna be easy because they said that you don't need a nipple to actually breastfeed. So I'm just like, okay, but no, actually, you need. I mean, a nipple would makes things easier because the baby can't like doesn't make the difference between shapes and things and stuff like that. So feeling something that he can suck on makes things easier, definitely, because he doesn't know when to suck. So that was a massive, massive challenge for me. But I did have support from the midwives a lot. But at some point, I got so frustrated. I was so emotional in the hospital. I was crying twice a day, 3 times a day, and I was crying because of the frustration. I couldn't feed him, breastfeed him, like directly put him on the boob. I had to express all the time. So my time, like literally non-stop, I would express. I barely had any, like maybe 6-7 hours of sleep in 3 days, like all together. 2 days in the hospital, I don't think I had 6 hours of sleep put together. But I continued to express and stuff, and with the syringes and like literally squeezing and everything, and I try to make you know, do it as often as I would express in a lot so I can have plenty for him to be fed. Normally I would feed like, well, I don't know, 3 milliliters or something in one feed, and you know, then another 4 or 5 hours down the road and stuff. Anyway, I would do more. So yeah, that was my biggest challenge, breastfeeding, and still is because he's not latching still. I'm trying nipple shears and stuff, but then I'm gonna do another video because there's a lot to say. Obviously there's been nearly 6 days and there's a lot to say, so I'll do like finish with this video and then I'll do another video about what I'm trying. But anyway, this one, it was just kind of related to the hospital part. I wanted to relate to the hospital part. So in the hospital part, the hospital, the biggest challenge for me, it was breastfeeding. I could deal with everything else, the rest, the pain, whatever, everything else. And I was adjusting well to the baby's needs, like, you know, but I just couldn't stand the fact that I couldn't feed him when he wanted, easily, just like that. And they wouldn't really like want to give me formula or donated milk because they were saying all these things that the baby, you know, with the formula obviously, but if you want to breastfeed, it's very important to try to get him used on the, you know, boob, and not to the bottle and stuff, because then he's not gonna want the boob and everything. So it was one of those really, really struggles, because I thought, why, you want me to starve my baby? So they just said, like, we're gonna assist you, we're gonna try to help you, and if you know, just keep expressing and blah blah blah, and if you give him donated milk, then you know, he will might get used to the donated milk and stuff. So I'm just like, I gave up at some point, and I'm just like, you know what, okay, whatever. But they were so supportive with the breastfeeding, and trying to teach me, you know, trying to help me to get a good position and stuff. Sometimes it would work, most of the time it wouldn't. So I would end up frustrated and crying, and I was absolutely tired and everything. They kept us in there. They did a lot of checks for the baby every 1 hour, like for all newborns, I guess. They do the blood pressure, you know, all this heart rate, like breathing, blah blah, and everything. Same for me. But we also, because we were at the risk of infection, I was on antibiotics while I was in there, because they would give me pain relief and everything all the time if I needed, not all the time, but like at specific hours. And then they would check the baby almost every hour for like breathing and everything. They were so like responsible, and I was like quite impressed. Although at times it felt like it's too much, but then they wanted to make sure that the baby's okay, and they would check them for jaundice. They checked him for jaundice when he was 24 hours old, and then, you know, we were hoping that we would go home the next day. We would go home like the next day after he was born, maybe in the evening or something. But they said that because we had a forceps delivery, then we were at risk, both of us, him and me, of infection. So it's better for him to be in the hospital if things don't go right, where he can be treated, also because of the bruising and everything, and he would develop a jaundice more likely. Because if I go home, then I would panic and I wouldn't know what to do and stuff, which made sense. So as as much as I wanted to go home because I felt like I need to be in my zone, to relax, to watch myself, and I think, you know, I wanted to try breastfeeding and stuff on my own while at home and when relaxed. I thought, you know, it's the best, in his best interest, to be safe. So I just said, yeah, that's absolutely fine. All his checks came out absolutely fine, though. They checked his like health check, whatever, complete head to toe. He was fine. The only they never found jaundice in the hospital, though. Funny enough, at least that's what they said. They only found a little jaundice 2 days ago, but that's another story. So. Yeah, in the hospital they were super supportive. We decided, okay, that's fine, we'll stay there. We had to visit my mom one day, but she had a kind of a cold, so yeah, I had to keep her away, kind of. But apart from that, yeah, that was, you know, it was really, I felt like I'm being kept prisoner and I can't leave when I want with my baby. But then in the end I understood the reasoning behind it, because he needed to be well and safe and healthy, and I didn't want to put in danger his health. So I just thought, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. So let's just stay there, which we did. And when the day came to let us, release us, discharge us from the hospital, because they kept checking on me, breastfeeding is going well, how it's progressing and everything, and I kept telling them that I'm trying, but it's not working very well. There are times when I succeed, but most of the times we don't. And anyway, so in the end, you know, it came the day when all the checks turned out right. I was fine. They checked my stitches and everything, and they said they're healing absolutely fine. They checked the baby and stuff again one last time. They said, I think we're gonna let you go today, and that was on Monday. So I gave birth on Saturday at 11:45, and they let us go home on Monday at 2:30 p.m. because I will not forget that day. And I was so happy, and my friends came to pick us up. I have my two besties with flowers and everything, and literally they had tears in their eyes, and I just couldn't believe I'm seeing the daylight. I'm outside in the air, and it was a moment, you know, it was such an emotional moment. So yeah, thank God everything just turned out right in the end, and we got home, and you know, trying to adjust to the new life together, which was challenging, and I'm gonna do another video separate from that. But for now, I'll just leave it here with you guys. I know this has been just kind of spontaneous and it hasn't been planned or organized, but this is what I kind of felt like saying. And I just wanted to say to all those ladies out there who are expecting to give birth and stuff, sometimes things don't go the way we expect. So it's good to be flexible. Just be flexible and expect that things might not go the way we have planned. And you know, if you just have a different perspective, then you will not be that disappointed when things don't go the way you expected, and then you won't feel frustrated, and you know, you still have a positive birth story. But yeah, for me it was completely the opposite, and but I thank God, because you know, he just, despite all the challenges, everything turned out well, and I have embraced it, and I just said, you know, I can't control my body, I can't control anything really. There's only those many things that I can control, so I just need to accept it and not like overthink it. So yeah. Oh, the other neighbor started cutting the grass. Yay! Well, I'll leave you guys now because there's too much noise around. There's no point for me to speak, but I will do another video soon. In the meantime, you take care, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.